People from Missouri, though, they'll oftentimes tell you that Missouri is home to America's greatest author. Yeah, that's right. We're talking, of course, about Mark Twain, right? Yes, I see nods. Cool. You guys knew that. A+. A+ Milwaukee. Mark Twain was born in a small town called Florida, Missouri. Just the 1-2 punch of white trashy places. Florida, Missouri, that's like naming a college the University of Miami, Ohio. What are we doing? Why? What for, right? He later moves to a town with an equally unfortunate name called Hannibal, and in hindsight, unfortunate. And he grows up in Hannibal, and that's what he writes about when he writes his two most popular books. That would be Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. We're familiar? Yes? Cool. You can clap for that. That's cool, right? We've read them. Awesome. Clapping for other people's accomplishments. I love it. My favorite of those two is Huckleberry Finn. If you've not read it, I'm going to distill that book down for you real quick here. Huckleberry Finn is the story of a very racist child and a very patient black man. These two take a rafting trip down the Mississippi River, and Huckleberry will not shut his dumb, drunk, hillbilly child mouth. That book should have been way shorter. Should have just been called Jim Drowns a Child. Hell yeah.
Hey everybody, my name is Brock with no K, and you just got stuck at a four-way stop, the #1 comedy podcast done primarily out of a Toyota Camry. That was some stand-up from J. Tyler Menz, Milwaukee comedian. Stick around at the end of the episode where I have a great interview. I don't know about what you think, Chase, but I'd say it's probably my best interview yet.
Brock, this is episode 10, baby. This is the best episode yet. Our guest is the best guest we have had yet. Our stories are the best we have had yet. This is the best episode.
Is that what we're going with? That's your take?
I have had a lot of wine, and I'm just super hype.
As you did mention, this is episode 10.
I'm really excited. Episode 10. Not only, dude, we made it 10 episodes. This is our 50th story. 50. Dude, the next story is the 50th story of this podcast. Can you believe that? We have had 50 stories.
I mean, we probably have 150 stories recorded. There was probably a lot more because I lost a lot of files.
So, yeah, this episode 10, we're calling People is Dumb. Wow.
No, that's fucking perfect.
I'm
People
the dumb
dumb.
one. Oh, my God.
People is dumb.
People is dumb.
That's not what it was called, but that's what it's called now.
Jesus. That's what it's called now, yeah. And
That was a solid mistake.
so here's the thing. Every story on this episode involves dumb-ass people. Like, not every person in the story. Maybe the storyteller is the dumbass. Maybe the person in the story is the dumbass. Maybe the storyteller and the people in the story are dumbasses. You be the judge.
Maybe the host of the show is the dumbass.
The host of the show. Yeah, we're all dumb in our own ways. We're all smart in our own ways. But in this episode, the stories we're going to show are going to be about people being dumb.
I feel like I'm getting dumber every day.
Why don't we just get into the story?
If you wanna go and take a ride with me, we're three women all crammed in the backseat. Oh, why do I live this away? Hey, must be the funny. But if you wanna take a free ride with me, make me laugh from the back of my Camry. Oh, why do I live this away? Hey, must be the funny.
You just got stuck at a four-way stop.
All right, so I had two roommates in college. My sophomore year, we moved in. There were four of us moved into this house, right?
Okay.
One of them moved out in, we might have moved in when school starts? September?
August, September.
Yeah, so we moved in there. Like, the dude was moved out by, beginning of fucking October because he had already failed out of fucking school, right?
Okay.
Then our other roommate made it through the first semester of sophomore year.
Okay. A little bit further.
Early March, he drops out of school but doesn't move out.
Okay.
Takes our fourth roommate's room, the guy that had dropped out and
Right,
was gone, and starts a hydroponic fucking weed growth in there. And like, at this
What-
point, I'm playing fucking basketball.
You
like,
said
the coaches are coming over, like checking the house, making sure I'm not doing shit wrong.
yeah.
And they're like, why is there a padlock on this door? I'm like, man, I don't know. The guy just loves his privacy. Meanwhile, he's growing like 36 fucking weed plants in there. I'm like,
I thought you said this was a worst nightmare roommate.
yeah, that was a terrible roommate for me. Like,
I'm kidding.
I'm about to get kicked off the fucking basketball
Yeah,
team, like,
yeah.
just because you like to smoke. Like,
Right.
and, like,
Oh, that's
dude,
wild.
like,
Did anything
so
ever
that-
end up
that's all
happening?
I got for that one.
Okay, perfect.
Hell yeah.
I don't see the issue with him, but to each their own. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, this was 2004. Like, none
Okay.
of this shit was
Oh,
even
yeah.
remotely legal at that point.
Right,
Like,
right.
Holy shit.
I was looking at like 15 years in jail.
Right, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
This
Oh,
ain't like 2000. Like, this was 2000. Oh shit! I graduated 02, so yeah, this was like 2004.
okay.
Oh, I got a good firing story.
What happened?
Like I said, I run a bar.
Yeah.
It's St. Patty's Day Saturday, like where everybody's just like nuts to butts in the bar.
Right.
I work 7 a.m. to it's like 10 p.m. at this point, and like I'd switch staff at like 5. So I like this girl came in at 5. It's like however long, and I checked everybody's sales, and I'm like, yo, why the fuck's this girl only got $37 in sales? Like she's been here 3 hours
yeah.
or whatever.
Fucked up.
So I'm like, where the fuck is Rachel or what? I don't even remember her name
Whatever
at this
her name
point.
was,
But I'm
yeah.
like, where the fuck is this broad? And they're like, oh yeah, she's in the kitchen for the last 3 hours. So I go back there. I'm like, what's up? Like she's like, oh well, one of these guys that I hooked up with is out there, and like if he's out there, I'm just not gonna work. I'm like, okay, well then you can go the fuck home because
Right.
Go fuck yourself.
you're literally costing me money at this point. I was like, no, you go home because I don't need you anymore. I'm paying you $8 an hour to be here. You've sold less than
cry.
$8 an hour since you've been here.
Yeah.
You're literally costing me money. Go the fuck home. I don't give a shit, and you can come get your last paycheck Friday.
Damn.
So, like I said, run a bar. We hire a bunch of young 21, 22-year-olds.
As you do, yep.
So we have a coffee machine in the back, right? And it's one of the ones that's hooked up to a water line. So every time, like, we'd hire somebody new, like, the first day, be like, oh yeah, like the server's got to empty the water out of the coffee machine, and we'd see how many like buckets we would get them to go through before they realize, oh shit, this
keeps
is actually
refilling.
attached to a fucking water line.
So what's the most that somebody
4.
ever 4?
4 5-gallon buckets. And I looked at it, I was like, where do you think that this is stored?
That's funny. That's good. It's a little new hire hazing.
We had another one. We made this girl like change the stale air in the cooler. This was when I worked at a fucking Texas Roadhouse back in college.
Nice.
And like I didn't pull it on her, but our manager did. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like new hires got to change the stale air in the cooler. So they're running through the walk-in cooler with a garbage bag and then running out the door to like let the stale air out.
Trying to get that cardboard smell out of the freezer.
Well, he's sitting there like with a thermometer in his hand. He's like, oh no, like not enough's gone yet. Clearly it's not moving because he's just holding on to the thermometer. We sent a girl that worked the 600 section, like there wasn't one. We sent a girl to Lowe's to go get light bulb fluid.
There we go.
And then we called ahead to Lowe's so they knew she was coming to tell them like, oh yeah, sorry, we're out. And then they sent her to Menards. This girl was gone like 2.5 hours trying to find light bulb fluid.
Totally worth paying her
I mean,
for that
this is.
2.5
I'm
hours.
old, so this was all like pre being able to Google this shit.
Oh yeah.
Like the girl, she was 20 and like
Gullible, yeah.
2003 or whatever it was. Like we couldn't Google shit on our phones. Like you had to
Yup.
still use the Dewey Decimal
Oh,
System and
man.
shit. This is when I was at Texas Roadhouse. We told this girl that at the end of the night there couldn't be any non-crushed peanuts on the floor. And I don't know if you've been to a Texas
Yeah,
Roadhouse, but
yeah.
like people just throw
The peanuts
peanuts
on
all
the
over
side,
the floor or whatever.
Yep.
So she went around stomping peanuts for like 2.5 hours. Just
Oh,
like,
that's awesome though that you guys you made it fun and then
oh yeah,
you have
oh,
to.
one more good one. So this was at a little family bar that like after I left Roadhouse, I managed this family bar in Muncie, fucking Indiana.
Okay, yep.
And the owner's family like worked there, like the owner was there and his wife every day because it was a college bar, so couldn't find college kids to work during the day.
Yeah.
But he was just one of the nicest motherfuckers in the world. Like, I swear to God, like, Scott Dalton, I love you if you hear this. But at
Shout
one
out to
point
Scott.
we told this new girl, like, hey, Scott's, like, because he would always talk about gambling and this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, Scott's been losing a lot. So I went into a McDonald's and I bought a box of their like ketchup packets.
Okay.
Bought it off them, and I'm like, hey, I brought it into work afterwards. And I was like, hey, Scott's been losing at the track, so I stole these from McDonald's. Like, you got to fill the ketchup bottles back up. Like, he can't afford to buy the ketchup right now. This girl for like 2.5 hours, like, just empty ketchup packets into ketchup bottles.
Oh, that's awful. but
That was
awesome.
one of the best ones
That's
I
a
ever
good
had.
one.
but-
That's awesome. All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on and telling a bunch of good stories.
Dude, I'm old, man. Like,
You're
I got
welcome
all
back
kinds
in.
of talk, like shit to talk. Like,
Welcome back anytime. If you got more, we'll always take them. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any good restaurant stories. I mean, I feel like I have a ton of stories. They're all just shenanigans.
Every restaurant I've ever worked, I haven't been smart enough to prank anybody, but it's just breadstick wars or hot dogs and the ceiling fans.
We worked together at Pizza Hut. That was fun.
Breadstick wars.
Did we already talk about working at Pizza Hut together?
All I know is I went to Europe over the summer for the senior year in high school Euro trip, and I go to an internet cafe in Paris. Brock, get this, it's like 2005. Brock sends me an email. This is how we communicated back then over email. He goes, hey man, I quit Pizza Hut. And like, you were my best friend at work, and I'm in Europe, and I find out that my best friend quit. I didn't last too much longer after I got back, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It was pretty lame after I left.
Yeah, you would know.
Wait, what?
Anyways, I love hearing about like restaurant pranks, especially like that guy was the way that he pranked people was so harmless and like wholesome. And to me, listening to that is just refreshing because I'm such an evil person. I would like do something that would get me fired. And this guy's just like,
Hey.
what?
Oh. I was going to segue into... Hey, remember that time we went to the strip club and got boners and stuff? I don't know, man. Strip clubs are weird to me. I get like, yes, women are beautiful and naked women are even more beautiful, but like it doesn't do I'm in a room full of dudes. No thank you.
I've been to a strip club for one bachelor party, and my friend who was the bachelor, fuck, I can't tell this story. The next rider.
Yeah, you can.
No,
Yeah,
no
you can.
shot. I'm telling the story. The next rider is a stripper.
Just tell me and then you can cut it.
I'm not putting that on tape. This is a secret. So look, I'm not going to tell you that story. That's a secret. That's for homies only. But the next story is told by a stripper, and she's trying to sell her panties. Brock, let's just get into the story.
We've got Anna in the back seat. This is four-way stop late night. It's 3:30 in the morning. Anna, you said you recently started a job as a dancer.
Yeah.
You told me about a guy.
Yeah.
Just tell me
It's a
about
weird
this guy.
guy.
Yeah.
So what happened is we did like so I'm working as a dancer. I'm an exotic dancer.
Yeah.
So we do like a VIP room,
Of course. Yeah.
but I don't do extra.
Okay.
But most guys would ask that.
Yeah.
And I would say no. And then there's this guy came to me. He was like, let's do the VIP. And he asked me like 100 times.
Okay.
And I said, I keep saying no. And he was like, how about let me get your panty? It's so weird. I said, no, I won't do that.
I don't understand the obsession with the panties.
I know,
Like,
right? It's so weird.
What does that do
and
for
creepy.
you? Yeah.
I know, it's just a panty. So, and he was like, even though I give you $100, and I was like, of course.
Oh, for $100? Yeah, of course you
Why
give them
not?
up.
My
Yeah.
panty is like what, $5?
yeah. Yeah.
And I have a bunch of it, so I give it to him. And he gave me $100, and it didn't stop there.
Oh no.
So when I came back to him, he was like, can I have another panty from you? And I give you another $100. So I literally got $200 from him for my panty.
So
So weird.
that's okay. Why are guys so weird? Like,
I don't know. That's so weird. But I mean, I made money. So I'm like,
yeah, absolutely. Oh, you yes, he's a dumbass. You made out like a
he
bandit.
is.
$200 for what, $5 panties?
Yeah.
What
And
is
it's
that?
even
It's like a 2,000%
right.
markup. Or
I didn't know I can make money from panties, but
hey,
that's like a good.
whatever pays the
right?
bills, right?
And I didn't even do anything. I
Yeah, you
just
didn't have
gave
to
it
do
him.
anything. Yeah, that's even better. Awesome. Well, thank you, Anna, for coming on and telling us that story.
Thank you.
And
It's my pleasure.
yeah, absolutely. And you have a good night.
You too.
Mike, are you okay with using your name?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
fine with
awesome,
using my name.
awesome.
My name's Charisse.
All right, we got Charisse in the back seat. Charisse, you said you had a phone scam recently. Actually, you just were getting a call from the UK.
I was just getting a call from the UK, from London.
I did get a call from the UK the other day, and apparently I'm in trouble with the cops. But and they're hiring the UK to do their dirty work.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what went down with your phone scam?
So I'd say about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks tops, the IRS was calling me, of course, because I owe some money for taxes, obviously.
Yeah, we all do.
And the person who called me.
Uncle Sam just wants more of our money, right?
All the time.
All the time.
And of course, they're going to have somebody from India or Pakistan, I'm not sure, because they had an accent, to come and get the money from American citizens.
Yeah.
It just makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
Outsourcing.
Of course. So he called and he was scaring me, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to go to jail. What can I do? What can I do?" And he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to have to get some information from you." And I said, "I need your correct first name." And I told him my name was Puddent. And he said, "Puddent? And what's your last name?" And I said, "Tane, and if you ask me again, I'll tell you the same." And just hung up the phone and died laughing. And everybody I tell that to is like, "That is just funny."
I think everybody should try and mess with the scammers.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
Like, as soon as you pick up what's going on, and mess with them.
Yeah.
Make their life a living hell as
Oh.
much as possible. Give them a fake credit card number and everything. Play the whole thing out.
Absolutely, because it's a shame that they do that. And then
It is
at my job,
because some
of
people
course,
are gullible and they fall for it, and then they're screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Their identity's gone.
Well, right now I have, I think, 4 boxes full of money at JFK in New York.
Okay.
But they told me that and sent me that email at my job saying yes, that my name was in these boxes, and that I need to give them something so that they can hold it for me so I can pick it up from JFK. So I get scammers every
Have you ever
single day.
Have you ever fallen for anything where anything?
No, my sister's a lawyer.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
I just say, "Hey, guess what
You
happened
know.
today?" And she just tells me, "Nope." So that's
Awesome.
how I'm lucky is about that. And I tell everyone,
Well, if I
you need to know
ever get in
something.
trouble, I'm gonna call you guys up and talk to your sister.
Absolutely, she's a great lawyer.
Awesome.
Great lawyer.
All right, Therese, thanks for coming on and telling us that story.
Okay, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Angelica, you said you had a crazy travel story.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened on your crazy vacation?
Oh man, so I had a disastrous trip back home to visit my family. I was visiting my sister, and it just didn't go well. First night, got kicked out, and
You got kicked out of your sister's
I
house?
got kicked out of my sister's house.
What did you do to get kicked out?
Well, my sister had just had a baby, and she was wanting to have a good time. She asked me to bring some acid on my trip for
Ooh,
us to
psychedelic.
psychedelics, just indulge in a little bit. And she asked me to bring some acid with me on my trip, so I brought it. The first day I was spending time with her and my niece, and my friend linked up with me and wanted to take me out on my first night.
Okay.
So I said yes.
Yeah.
And my sister wasn't very happy about that. I took the acid with me. We took it. We get there. My friend was totally having a meltdown, did not want to find her ID, was totally being like a disaster. And so we ended up parting ways.
She didn't want to get her ID to get into the bar?
She
or?
just didn't feel like she needed to find it. And so when they asked her for her ID, she was just like, whatever, it's kind of your problem. And so I was
think it
really,
works that way,
yeah, I was really embarrassed by that. And I was just like, all right, you can kind of do your own thing. So whereas I thought I was going to have this wild night out, you know, with my friend, I ended up having to go back home to my sister's. So she was not really happy with my decisions or the state that I was in. Kicked me out, and then I basically had nowhere to stay. My rental car like fell through. It was
So you didn't even have a car to sleep in.
didn't have a car to sleep in, didn't have a pot to piss in. It was just a total disaster. So fast forward to the end of my trip, I'm leaving totally just melting down, trying to return my rental car. I got there, I didn't fill it up with gas. So I go to the gas station, I get a bunch of Smirnoff Ices. I take a Xanax because that's what we do before a flight.
Yeah.
And I was just feeling good, and I connected in Chicago, was totally wiped out by then, and I'm sitting next to this guy that really smells good. And I had the window seat, he had the middle seat in the plane, and
Wait, you had the middle seat?
I had the window seat,
Oh, you had
he
the
had
window.
the middle seat.
Okay.
And I started establishing control over the armrest and just kind of seeing where that was going. I was like, I'm here, I'm gonna be here for a while. And so he kind of let me, you know, stake my place. And then I sort of started falling into him, like
Started
leaning.
nodding off.
I started nodding off
Okay.
into him. And by the third time, he kind of looked at me and he was just like, it's totally fine. You can totally fall asleep on me. So I was like, all right.
Awesome.
So I fall asleep on this guy.
It's the best thing that happened to you all weekend.
The best thing. It was the best thing. Someone that smelled good. He was a teddy bear. I fell asleep right on his shoulder, and we woke up in each other's arms.
Aw.
And I was just really comforted. And then we talked the whole way to baggage claim, and we exchanged numbers. He was actually in my town putting in robots for the Amazon facility.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a random thing. So he was just there for one day. But we kept in touch during COVID. And then I'm such a birthday brat. He told me he was going to wish me happy birthday on my birthday. And it's
When's your birthday?
2 days before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So
Awesome.
it's just like bah humbug.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. It's bah humbug or happy holidays for me. So he said he was going to wish me happy birthday, and he didn't. I ended up blocking him.
Oh, no.
And then a year later, my Facebook got hacked, and he reached out to me, and he told me sometimes when a good thing or a bad thing happens, sometimes a good thing is around the corner. So he got me a ticket to Lollapalooza.
Oh,
and
there we go.
Got me a plane ticket to Chicago, and now I'm here, and the rest is
And you're going to
history.
Lolla this weekend?
I'm going to Lollapalooza.
All 4 days?
All 4 days.
Oh, man.
yes.
He okay. All right. Good job on
He
his
definitely
part.
hooked it up,
There we
and
go.
I'm just really happy. We talk about kind of being soulmates, and
There we
just,
go.
you know, there's some
So when are
people
you
that
moving to Chicago?
Oh man, I hope soon. Honestly, Chicago's been on my radar for a really long time.
Nice.
It definitely has a soft spot in my heart, and I love the city.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to have you. And if you want to give a shout out to this big teddy bear that you've been talking about.
Shout out to Noah, you're
Oh.
awesome.
All right, Angelica. Well, we're almost there, so I'm gonna turn everything down here real quick.
It's time to chill. Uh-oh. So I was recording with Brock, and FaceTime just died. So I bet his phone died. So in addition to those panty stripper stories, we played you a little story about some phone scams. That was a pretty cute story. And the travel siblings with Angelica and her dumb sister. And Angelica's kind of dumb too. I mean, the whole theme of this episode is dumb people. People is dumb. And like, Angelica, you went to visit your sister and she wanted to do acid, and your friend hit you up the first night you were in town. You thought, I'm just going to ditch my sister and go do acid with my friend. Dumb move. Your sister, she kicked you out. That was a dumb move too. I mean, who does that to a family member, you know? This whole episode is about dumb people doing dumb shit. And I mean, I hope y'all see that is the theme. I'm really stretching sometimes trying to make a theme for these episodes, but I have fun, you know? And so anyways, if you like what you hear, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a follow, leave us a comment, leave us a review. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. We have one more story to tell, and then we're going to get into our best guest yet. His name is Jay Tyler Menz. This dude has like the best music taste in Milwaukee. Check out his playlists. Check out his interview with Brock. But before that, we're going to do one story. Well, really one writer has multiple stories. Poor guy's wife wants to be a swinger. Why don't we check it out?
So it is Saturday, August 27th.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how sometimes you think you know somebody, but sometimes you really don't.
Okay.
You date somebody for 3 years, you get engaged for a year, then you get married,
Okay.
and then 2 weeks after the marriage, she goes, "Oh, by the way, we're going to be swingers." And I said, "Oh."
This would have been.
I felt like Adam Sandler in the scene from The Wedding Singer where he's like, "That information could have been useful to me yesterday."
That's kind of what popped in my head
Yeah.
as well.
Oh,
so
100%.
We're on the same wavelength.
She had a super dry sense of humor, so it was kind of hard to tell sometimes if she was like being for real, if she was like fucking around, joking. Oh no, she was serious. And she gave me that look like a great white shark
Was her name
would
Linda?
give a surfer. No.
Okay.
Sophie, close.
Okay.
So when she looked at me, and I could tell she wasn't joking, I was just like, all right, seriously, what the fuck? And she goes, well, I used to do this back in college, and one of these people like reached out to me on Facebook, and it woke up all these feelings, and I go, all right, well, if this is what you want to do, and obviously it is because you brought it to my attention.
Right.
2
weeks
I'm not
after
2
the
weeks after
wedding.
we've gotten married. I'm not going to try and change your mind. Like, if this is what you really want to do, hey, more power to you. Go ahead and do it. FYI, I'm out of here.
I'm out.
I'm out of here.
I like it.
You're not taking a dime from the wedding. I'm taking every dime that we got from that wedding. That's my money. You want to make this decision? Hey, have a good time. And she goes, all right, well, it's been fun.
Wow.
Like that fast. And
That easy.
That fast and that just like Bridget Nielsen Rocky 4 cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, fuck you. Done. And I go, all right, I'm out. And
I mean, I hope you guys didn't waste a ton of money on the wedding.
no, we didn't.
Okay.
It was, I think we brought in like double of what we had spent.
Okay,
So
that's good.
I was able to walk out ahead, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you think you know somebody.
That is
right?
wild.
3 years and then engaged for one.
Now,
And
like,
then 2 weeks after, it was almost like that. She thought she was like the bear trap, and she's like, all right, I got you. Now,
I'm assuming she was trying to bring another guy into, or
she was open. She was open for both.
kind of everything.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like,
yeah.
she's like, oh, well, we can bring another girl. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, sweet. That's cool. But I mean, like, I'm not about the whole thing in general.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean?
I mean,
she's
to
like,
each
well,
their own.
sometimes
If
I
it-
want
I've
like
no-
another guy. And I'm like, no, I'm out. Like, you
I
wanna
have
bring
no
this up.
issues with people that live that lifestyle.
No, that's
That-
fine. Like,
totally
there's a lot of
cool,
people that
but
do, and
not
that's
for
cool if
me.
it works. But don't like be that like bear trap in the woods out of fucking nowhere.
Right.
2 weeks after a wedding, after being with somebody for 4
Yeah,
years.
that's
4
shitty.
years, man. We're not talking like 4 months. Secret fun fact:
Yeah.
I was a background extra in episode 5 of season 3 in Cobra Kai.
Interesting.
When Johnny took Miguel to the Dee Snider concert and he was in the wheelchair, I was a body in the crowd in that shot.
Can you visibly
I
visibly
get
see yourself?
a quick shot. Nothing like
Nothing.
Yeah, like I'm not a character in the in the series. Yeah, so where you're taking me to, this is like
The white karaoke.
this is like an epicenter. So right now I do wine tastings professionally with
Awesome.
Cooper's Hawk, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is one of my regulars, a husband and wife. The husband's Caucasian, the wife's 100% Polish.
Oh.
And it's all of her friends that come over to party. And
I think
so,
I might take a break after this ride.
no
and
shit,
We'll be
because
back.
this is like a 3-level house where they do. He must have spent $20,000 on his karaoke setup in his basement.
Oh wow.
With like live streaming cameras, multiple mic setups, an 80-inch front screen, like, and then he put like a dancing side to the left. So he put like lights and like a smoke show and all this, and then you go upstairs, and the spread of food is like what you would see in catering at Monday Night Raw.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's wild.
And then there's people
Is it-
dancing in the living room, and I'm like,
Just jamming along
just
with
jamming,
whatever, whoever's
just enjoying
singing.
life, just living it up, man. You know. And the first time I came over here, this is going to be my 4th time coming out here. The first time I came over here, my Uber driver goes, "I think is that the house?" And they were like, 25 people stand. This is like
Just out in the front yard.
This is like probably September 2020.
Okay.
So this is kind of like peak
yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
So there's nothing but cars, bumper to bumper through the cul-de-sac. We pull up to this house, and there's like 20 people, 25 people out front smoking. He goes, "Mind if I come in?" I go, I can't say that.
That's
You
not up
haven't
to
said
me.
2 words to me the whole ride, but now when we pull up, you see a party, you want to join me? Yeah, no, I don't think so. Have a good night. I just jumped out.
Now, would they have allowed him to cut like
100%. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. If I would have walked in and be like, "Oh, this is my guy." Yeah. Well, that's cool. Fun fact, I did the voiceover work at Six Flags Great America when they decided to bring in a live person to do announcements in the park from 2010 to 2011.
Okay.
So
if you were at Six Flags,
ladies and gentlemen, in 15 minutes it's showtime. Check out the Wiggles in front of the American Eagle. Like, I did those live. So CBS Radio did a partnership with Six Flags to turn the old karaoke building.
I mean, we have a local celebrity in the car, you guys. This is a big day for the four-way stop.
So they brought in, they turned the old karaoke building into a CBS Radio podcast booth.
Okay, sweet.
So when B96 or US 99, like if they weren't there doing a live broadcast, I was there on the weekends doing live announcements in the park.
Nice.
Instead of getting away from all the canned announcements I could just kind of ran through the park,
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, well, maybe it's Timmy's birthday and he's 9 years old." I'll be like, "All right,
so you had to
everybody,
do custom
attention, Six Flags
announcements.
Great America, it's Timmy's birthday. Let's give it up for Timmy, everybody."
The crowd roars, yeah.
So it just added like a little bit more of a personal element to the
Yeah.
park.
That's cool.
Yeah. They say don't make a career being a roofer because being a roofer sucks. I was never a roofer, but I just heard that on a podcast. So
Yeah, all right, sweet.
that's my out.
All right.
Thanks for having me on, man.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Take care. All right, guys, it is time once again to turn on your headlights. Tonight we have Tyler Menz.
Yeah, J. Tyler Menz.
J.
on
Tyler
stage.
Menz.
That's
What's
cool.
with the J at the beginning?
So my first name is Jay.
Oh, okay.
My parents always called me Tyler, and so Jay is a family name. Jay is a family name.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm. It's just a little homage to Pops.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I was introduced to you by our producer. He spotted you and was like, "Get this guy on. He's awesome."
Oh, cool.
And we, reached out kind of last minute, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm free. Let's go cruise around and do it." So
Yeah, it worked out.
That was awesome of you to come on.
I'm around. You know?
So how long have you been doing stand-up for?
I just celebrated 10 years in August.
10 years.
Yeah,
that's
so,
amazing.
A bit, a bit.
Now, are you doing it full time, or you work as well, or?
I'm a stay-at-home dad as well, so
Love it,
I hang out
love
with
it.
my kids, and my wife has a pretty cush job. She's a CPA.
Sweet.
So this is something I get to do.
I had that lifestyle going for a little bit,
Yeah.
but then things didn't work out with the wife.
Took a
so,
dip.
Took
a dip. That happens.
Living that single dad life,
Yeah.
which is a good time too.
Yeah, but it's cool. I'm a stay-at-home dad, and then I guess I do. I guess I'm a professional comic, but I do
That's-
clubs and shit. But
You were just out in Denver.
I was. Yeah, I did the High Plains Comedy Festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which was a real blast.
And I was looking through your list. You've done a lot of comedy festivals, mostly Milwaukee-based. I didn't even mention that he is a Milwaukee-based comic.
Shout out, repping the 414.
414 all day.
Till I die, yeah, I've done a couple of festivals. I've done. What have I want to toot my own horn
No,
here.
that's what we're here for. We're
done
gonna
10,000 Laughs, which is out in Minneapolis. I've
Awesome.
done Milwaukee Comedy Festival, Cream City Comedy Festival here in town. I've done
Cream City.
Flyover, which is in St. Louis, which is an awesome festival.
Okay, so you're hitting all the Midwest ones.
Yeah. I pretty much stay Midwestern. This is my this last week was my first trip out to Denver, and had a really good time. It was really honored to be a part of that. And it's like it's a curated festival, so it's not something you can like apply to.
Okay.
So I felt like a big deal, and they flew me out, like they paid for the plane ticket, which
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, this is
That's
big,
all.
big league stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel like a star.
Truly, yeah. So, yeah, got to do some cool shows out there. They did give me free weed. That was neat.
I mean, when you go to Colorado, weed is always just kind of free.
Yeah.
If you know anybody
Just
that
ask people on the street. I
like,
think
hey,
they
do you
would
have any
give it
weed?
to you.
Yeah,
For sure. So yeah, did some cool shows. Got to see some cool shows as well. Eddie Pepitone just dropped by the festival, which was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I got to see him perform. He's one of my favorites. But yeah, I mostly just stick around the Midwest. I kind of, Wisconsin keeps me busy, and then I'll pop down to Chicago once in a while. I've been to Chicago in a while.
If you ever come down, hit me up, and we can do it again. Do this again, and come check out a show.
The last time I was in Chicago was over a year ago. I was in June.
By the way, if I keep driving south, am I gonna run into any bad neighborhoods?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
This is all. I know we're driving past like warehouses right now, but this is all.
I just was making sure.
Blue collar neighborhood. Yeah, this is.
We're just cruising tonight. We've got nowhere to go.
For the listeners, this is at Cudahy, Wisconsin, home of Smithfield Patrick Cudahy Bacon Factory. It stinks like pork here several times a week. This is actually the largest iron forge in the drop iron forge in the world. So you can hear it like just all the time, just going poof, 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 just like miles away.
That's awesome for people that live nearby.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. But you know what? It keeps the houses cheap, so that's why we're here.
That's perfect.
Hell yeah.
So have you done any touring or anything?
I've done some touring with I tour around with Todd Barry once in a while.
Oh,
Actually,
sweet.
that's when I was in Chicago last. It was in Evanston. I guess not Chicago proper, but I went to Evanston and did a space called Space with him.
Okay.
But yeah, I've traveled with. I've done like 3 tours with him. We do usually. He works really interesting because he'll fly into his. He'll do like extended weekends places. So he'll fly into like. I don't know. He'll fly into like Milwaukee, and then he'll be like, we'll do a show in Milwaukee, and then he'll just have a local comic drive him wherever. So we'll do Milwaukee.
Tell him
Chicago.
if he needs a driver.
Yeah,
I got him covered.
Absolutely, yeah, he does. I think I got that handled though, man. But he'll just so we'll do like Milwaukee, Chicago, Madison, or we've done like Indianapolis.
Sweet.
Or Iowa City. Those are the 2 farther ones we've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've toured around with him a little bit. I did a couple tour dates with Christopher Titus before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's awesome. He took me out to Detroit. I worked with Steve-O.
Now, does he do stand up?
Yeah. So
I guess I didn't even realize that.
He does is a weird mixture of like stand up storytelling, and he does like stunt based stuff.
Okay.
So he like blew a fireball at one point.
So more Jackass stuff.
Yeah,
much.
Jackass adjacent.
You could have said shit. That's
yeah.
fine.
I can curse, right?
Yeah, you can absolutely.
Yeah, he does Jackass shit. It was weird working with him though, because when I worked with him, he was getting sober, but also had just broke both of his legs in a stunt, and so I think he was having a rough time because he was like, couldn't take good drugs.
Does that mean that? Yeah.
And he had 2 broken legs, so he was hobbling around everywhere. Yeah, so I felt bad for him, but I don't feel too bad for him. He does it to himself, and he's doing all right. He's doing fine.
And all those guys, all those names, has everybody been pretty cool?
Yeah, they've all been
fun
cool.
to hang out with.
Yeah,
I feel like comedians are they're good people. They're fun.
Yeah, I think the only people I've ever met that haven't been cool have been people that like don't actually do stand up, or like they're television people that get into stand up after the fact. I don't know. I worked with this guy. He was like a one-off character on Trailer Park Boys, and he was just like the weirdest dude. I didn't talk to him very much. I was like, this guy's a fucking ding dong, and he was just showed up drugged out of his mind. So I was like, I don't know. This isn't very professional.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, every comic I've ever worked with has been really, really dope.
So I did see, and I was actually listening to it on the way up, your dual album with Ryan Mason.
Yeah.
Brew Dads.
My Brew Dads.
My
yeah.
Brew Dads.
Yeah, like my 2 dads from the old 80s sitcom.
I appreciate a good beer pun.
Oh.
That my fantasy baseball team name is Brew Balls.
Oh, good. That's great. Blue balls, brew balls. Nice.
And I also always have a lot of Brewers players because I'm in a Chicago league, and
you gotta
stack them up on.
You got to do that to them. I'm in a Chicago-based fantasy basketball league, and I usually load up on Bucks.
Yeah.
I gotta find a good name this year though. Got to figure out a good name for that. But yeah, My Brew Dads. We released it 2 years ago now, like
Yeah,
right in the middle of the pandemic.
Okay.
We recorded it beforehand, and we were originally kicking around ideas because we were going to maybe do independent releases. But then
Yeah, what was the thought process behind doing a duel versus just doing by yourself?
less work.
Well,
Just
okay.
like he's one of my best friends, so we
Okay.
were just like, this is where it was the middle of the pandemic. We're like, we got no shows, we got nothing going on. And we've got this thing that's been sitting in the can for a while. At that point, we felt like, well, how long is this pandemic gonna last?
Right.
And so we were just like, we'll just put it out together. We were like, we're not making any money on this anyway. This is fine. We'll just say we did it to say we did it, and yeah.
I mean, I feel like early on in comedy, until you really make your break, or get your break, that's you're doing free. You're just trying to get your name out there.
Yeah.
You want people to come check out your shows when you are coming to town.
Right.
Build a fan base, and hopefully it pays off later on.
Worst case scenario is we were like, no one's gonna listen to it.
I listened to it. I was having a good time on the
Hell
way
yeah.
up. So
Thank you. So that was our worst case scenario situation. And
everybody go check it out.
Yeah,
My Brew
please,
Dads. It's on
please.
Spotify. Anywhere else? Where else can they find it?
It's on Spotify,
Okay.
Apple. It's on everything. It's on YouTube even. We put
Sweet.
it up on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I need more listens than just Brock. So please, please go ahead and listen to that.
You had 2 listens at least in the last 2 days.
Really,
so.
what the main idea though was, after I was like, if I ever do get to do stand up again, I'm gonna burn all this old material, and that mostly has been like the big kick in the butt to be like, all right, you got to write a new act, so
Yeah.
get on it. And I'm on my way. It takes a long time to write. So
Where can people find you online? On the interwebs?
it's mostly Instagram and Twitter, but I'm also on Facebook. And what are the other ones? I'm on TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, I just got into TikTok.
I'm not a big TikTok. Chase takes care of the TikTok.
Oh,
I'm
does he?
not.
Okay.
I'm not a TikTok guy. But
Yeah,
maybe someday.
I put out a clip a while ago that did pretty well, but after I
Yeah.
can't figure out how to do. I can't.
So you have a clip. Chase told me it had 7 million views.
Yeah, that's on Instagram.
That's
yeah.
insane.
It's wild. It was like 2 weeks ago, and it's still like I'm getting notifications. I wake up and there's like 100 likes on it every day.
So that is addicting to hear. You got the
Oh,
vibrate,
God.
or if you have the sound on it.
No, yeah, I
Like
had to-
what
I
is
had to turn that off.
7? Yeah, obviously at that point.
7 million views is a lot. Like even people who do it a lot will tell you that. But yeah, it was basically a clip of me talking about the drunkest counties in America, and
The 50 drunkest. Yeah.
and 41 of them are in Wisconsin. So-
And when he sent that over, he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the reel that he had that has whatever."
Yeah, that one
I was
was-
like, "Oh
was
yeah, I've
big.
seen this before."
I realized that I realized it was going to be big at 2 points. The first time was when people just started tagging famous people from Wisconsin.
Oh.
They were like, "Oh, Charlie Barron's, Trixie Mattel, and Ben Kissel from last podcast on the
Okay,
left."
yeah.
Or Gareth Reynolds got a bunch of tags too. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's going to get some eyes on it."
Yeah.
And then I started getting messages from friends who had their friends that don't know me send it to them. So like my friend Paul, who I run with him on Sundays.
Okay.
He had a friend in Australia send it to him, and he was like, "This person doesn't know you. This is weird." And that's when I was like, "Wow, this is gonna do some pretty good numbers."
That's amazing.
Yeah, it felt pretty cool. What's really like the biggest bummer about it is it's not even my stand up. It's just me like making
Talking about a map.
Yeah, silly. Like I work hard on my jokes, and this isn't
Now,
even.
do you think has it helped you in comedy at all? Like get any more?
I mean,
obviously you get maybe some more followers.
Yeah, I mean, there's that whole thing of like exposure. Don't ever get paid in exposure, but like
Right.
that's exactly what happened with that. I got over 1,000.
That's what he's
followers
doing
from it.
here today. He's not getting paid, guys.
You know what? I'm doing you a favor, bro.
Yep, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
I've gotten a couple thousand, like 1,000 new followers. Most of them are based in Wisconsin too.
Okay.
Or seem to be.
That makes
so,
sense.
I mean, that would
Geographically.
Be, yeah. We're all very proud drunks here.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that can like translate into some ticket sales. That's the goal.
That is the goal.
Yeah. Who knows?
Get more eyes on your stuff.
Yeah. Now I'm like releasing a clip a day, just like of me doing stupid little jokes.
How hard is that?
None of them have done well.
No.
Maybe one. It's hard, but like I keep them under 30 seconds, so it's not like it's terribly hard. I just like have to make a sarcastic comment and I'm out. But wait, how long have you? Can I ask you?
Yeah.
I'll interview you.
Yeah,
for a
let's
minute.
do it.
How long have you done this for?
We started recording early June.
Cool.
Started releasing episodes early July. We've got probably a 4 or 5, maybe even 6 week backlog.
Oh, wow, cool.
On stories.
Oh.
And keeping up with the comedians is kind of the toughest.
Yeah.
Getting people to come on, and
yeah.
we're nobodies, and we're obviously trying to build something from nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of people that start podcasts, they start out, they have a following. I mean, there's so many podcasts out there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But just hearing the receptiveness from the writers that that are with me, even if they tell a story or they don't, it's a very positive. Maybe 1% of the writers since then have been like, no thank you.
Oh,
that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure. That's wild. That's cool that you really have a crazy setup. I know I told you that off air, but,
it is literally a studio in here.
It really is. Is there sound issues when you're
every once in
mixing it and stuff?
Not really. So
No?
I've got the Zoom recorder up here,
yeah.
which is built for podcasting. I just keep it plugged in the auxiliary, and every now and then the mic's cut out and we have some right errors and a little piece will get clipped out.
Like a Harley will go by or something like that.
I mean, the road noise is kind of the difficult thing that
Yeah.
Chase has to work with back home. But he, the programs that he's got are set up to work with background noise.
Rock and roll.
So
he's got to work with my terrible voice. Sorry, Chase.
He has. I hate my voice.
Man.
I've never liked my voice, and it's kind of funny because now we're doing a show that's just my voice.
Does Chase do stand up too?
He doesn't.
Okay.
So he was more into music recording. He's always been a musician. So he went out to LA. He's been doing his thing. He's 10 years out there.
Wow. Oh, he's still out there?
He's still out there.
Oh,
yep.
crazy.
So we do the show over the internet, and then
So everything's done now, man.
yeah. I'd like to eventually bring on more drivers.
Sure.
Different cities.
Sure. That'd be great. That's cool. This is a cool concept. I've
Yeah.
never seen anything done like this before.
I think, everybody has stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any crazy stories?
Crazy stories. I'm looking at your prompt list. You're.
That was a good segue too.
Yeah, sorry. yeah.
No, that was.
I tell you about my.
I was complimenting myself.
It was a good segue. Speaking of segues, this is brought to you by Segway Scooters. I'll tell you about my college roommate. My first college roommate was a dude. I think I can say his name. I don't think he cares. His
First
name.
name.
Yeah, his name was Blaine. He's from Waukesha, which should give you any Wisconsin listeners an indication of who he was.
He sounds like a white guy.
Yeah, definitely a white guy. Thought I was. First thing he said to me when he saw me he goes, "I thought you were going to be Hispanic because your name ends in a Z." I was like, "My name is Tyler Menz. I don't know what There's nothing. It's not Mendez. I don't know what you're doing." But
anybody with a Z in their name is instantly Hispanic.
Yeah, but he was a prolific drinker. He came into freshman year of college just the drunkest dude. He would drink so much that at one point during college, I mean, he would routinely fall asleep outside of our dorm room door. He would go out, have a full night of drinking, somehow make his way back to our room and just fall asleep in the hallway in front of our door. So I had to drag him in multiple times to just get him inside so we can get in trouble. And at that time I wasn't a drinker, and I was just how is this guy getting this drunk all the time? At the end of freshman year, I lived with him 2 years. We had a guy that we were friends with down the hall walk down, and he was like, "Hey, did you hear about Blaine?" He Blaine didn't come back that day. And I was like, which was normal. I was like, he's just drunk at
He's just
someone's
passed
on
out
a
somewhere,
couch.
yeah.
He's fine. But I was like, no, what happened? And he goes, yeah, apparently he got up from a drunken stupor in the middle, like 2 a.m. Everyone was passed out. Blaine got up, and he crawled out of a second-story window and was sitting on top of the air conditioning unit in the window.
Oh, Jesus.
And then, when people were like, hey, you shouldn't be there, he just, like, swan dived off of it.
Oh, my God.
And landed in a bush less than a foot away from concrete. They were like, he almost died yesterday. And I was like, that's wild. And they're like, yeah, I think he's coming out again tonight.
Did he come out again?
Yeah, I think he
Fuck
did.
yeah, he did. That's
fucking
awesome.
goober. Like, what is he doing?
What.
Let's talk about shitting pants. Have you ever shit your pants before?
Dude, I've shit my pants 3 times in the last calendar year.
Wow, that's good. I don't trust any adult that doesn't shit their pants at least once. as
Only
an
2
adult.
of them were alcohol related.
Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, I don't. That's a rule of mine. It's like I don't know if you. I don't trust you if you don't poop your pants at least once as an adult.
Right.
You have to have that humbling experience. I don't remember the last time I shit my pants. I think it was a long time ago. But yeah, I don't. When was the last time I shit my pants? I think it was.
You never shit your pants. I don't
No,
trust you.
No. I did. I tell you when it was. I
don't trust people that don't remember when they shit their
This is
pants.
a weirdly specific pants shitting story.
Okay.
Okay, it was right after a Christmas. My wife had given me new boxers.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, cool, I'll wear these new boxers. And that day that I wore the new boxers, I went and I had like planter's warts on my feet. So I went to go get them removed. This is really oversharing and gross.
That's all right.
But they burned them off with acid is what they were doing.
Sweet.
And it hurt. It was like really...
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really uncomfortable pain, and I think it upset my stomach. So I was like sitting in the kitchen on my computer. I was like, I'm typing away, just in my boxer shorts because no one else was home because I was alone that day. And I remember being like, my stomach hurts. I have to fart. So I fart, and it was just like straight poop. I was like, this is brand new. I got these brand new underpants. I got to toss them.
I was going to say, did you even try and...
No. I was like, I'm not even salvaging these. These are gross.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. So I think that's the last time I pooped my pants. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My poop stories will eventually make it onto the podcast. I'm just holding off for the right moment.
You're a dad, though, right? So
I
like
am a dad.
we're used to
Once-
people's poop.
Once you deal with kid poop and you have it under your fingernails and it's just, you don't care anymore.
No, you don't. You don't.
and
You know what's worse than kid
I didn't
poop?
care before kids, to be honest with you.
What's worse than kid poop is cat poop. Like if your cat has diarrhea, it's the worst thing in the world. It's terrible.
All right, Tyler. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Brock.
Hey, everybody. If you enjoyed the show, make sure that you're subscribed and follow us on all of our social medias to keep updated. Thank you and goodbye.